Hey, what's up, you guys? So I haven't made a video in a while, and I have reasons behind that, but I'll let you know about that towards the end of the video. So I wanted to come and do a video mainly because of the fact that I've had a lot of questions on how I got pregnant, I gotta say it low, after the Depo. Now, a little bit of my story, if you haven't watched my other videos, and I'll most likely be doing this at the beginning of all my videos so that you can really understand where I'm coming from this. So last year, we was pregnant with our daughter Madison, and at 36 weeks, she had passed away, probably before then, but we gave birth to her at 36 weeks natural on January 26th. On January 27th is when I had got the Depo shot. Now, they wasn't supposed to give me the Depo shot until I actually stopped bleeding. So my follow-up appointment, they were supposed to give me the Depo shot, but I didn't know this. The reason why I knew about the Depo shot was because my cousin had the Depo shot, and she was talking about how she didn't have to do birth control pills or anything like that. She didn't really have to worry about it. So I listened, and I will be honest, don't listen, but I listened and I went along with it. So I got the Depo shot. Now, it didn't stop bleeding for a while after that, and I mean like maybe 2-3 months of the Depo, which is the 2-3 months that is supposed to be in your system. I bled all that time, and how I stopped bleeding, I would do a more in-depth video of that too, because of the fact that I know there's a lot of women that's out there dealing with the symptoms of it, and I'm gonna try to give y'all a in-depth video about the symptoms and how I dealt with them and how I try to kind of sort of get rid of them. But pretty much eventually I stopped bleeding, and then I was like, okay, well, because I stopped bleeding, there's a chance that I can get pregnant. Now, with the Depo, they say 3 months that it's supposed to be in your system. Being that it's an injection and it's heavy metals they're injecting in your body, it's going to take longer than 3 months. It's going to take probably up to a year for it to come out your system, because that's how I feel like it took me that long. But when it comes down to the Depo, it's not necessarily, I'm not going to tell y'all not to do birth control, because that's your personal choice. On my part, I've only had 2 types of birth control in my life. That was the implant, and I had that past the time that I was supposed to actually have it in there. I think I had it like 4 years past the time that I was supposed to have it in there, because I had the wrong information again. And then I got the Depo shot. So those are the only 2 birth controls I've had in my whole life. And when it comes down to the birth control, it alters your body, so it's harder because it's an injection to get it out of your system. So it takes a while for it to get out of your system. I've only had 1 shot, and that was on January 27th. And so the things that I did in order to quote unquote get it out of my system, I did a whole bunch of research, which I definitely say do a whole bunch of research, because I can't give you all the information about it in this video. But at the same time, you have to do your own research because your body's different than mine. But the things that I did, I took the pills, primrose oil, different things like that. What is it called? Vitex. I did different things like that. Detoxes. I was constantly taking detox drinks, as well as doing the not detox drinks. I would do lemon. Drink lemon every morning, and then I would also do the pill, because the pill of the lemon has a whole bunch of nutrients in it. So I would do that. Now, the problem with that is that it doesn't necessarily work if you think about it. It's more of like, eventually, if it worked, it'll work out. So that's how it happened. So I did that, and then over time, I kind of slowly went off of that, because I ended up getting 2 cysts on my ovaries. And I didn't really know that I had the cyst. I just know I was uncomfortable. Went to the emergency room. One of the cysts had ruptured, and I had another cyst, which means that I was ovulating, because I forgot the name of it, but I will look it up and things like that. Like I said, in a future video, I will go more into detail about stuff like that, where I had the cyst on my ovaries. And when I had the cyst on my ovaries, it was the ovulation cyst, which means that pretty much your ovaries creates a cyst, and then it ruptures and eggs comes out. But I feel like that I created an intervention to where the cyst stayed, because of the medications I was doing, instead of letting my body naturally get rid of the Depo. So y'all are asking, how did I get in where I'm at right now? How did I get there? Now, it took a year. It took like almost a year to the date. It had to be like the 15th of April that it happened. I was doing the tests and stuff like that. Everything always came back negative. But when we had lost our daughter, from the very beginning, we stayed active because of the fact that we knew that we would become depressed if we didn't. We had to stay active, constantly moving. I was changing the way I was eating, different things like that. I've always wanted to be a vegan, vegetarian, eventually to become a raw vegan. But, you know, it takes more than just you saying it. You have to research and, you know, do the things you have to do. And I never just did it right. So I'm getting it together. But the way I ate and things like that, and pretty much after doing a lot of research, I realized that the Depo affects your pituitary gland, and your pituitary gland regulates your ovulation, hormones, things like that, and it pretty much tells your pituitary gland, do not ovulate whatsoever. And so if the metals are still in your system and the things like that, it's going to tell your body not to ovulate. So I had to detox my pituitary gland, and no matter how many teas you take, that does not detox your pituitary gland. What you have to do is you have to sweat it out. You have to get the metals out of your body in order for your pituitary gland to pretty much start functioning normally. So I would work out, sweat, and it wasn't like it was not a continuous thing. It was like sometimes I would take a month or two off of doing it because I'm human, and sometimes you just get depressed and you just be like, because it's a lot trying to come back from the process that we went through. So I would work out and drink a lot of water, start eating better. Now, I started doing research on intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is pretty much you only eat 8 hours of the day. Now, I've never been the type of person that try to do 3 meals a day, but I was told I was supposed to do it, and I'm trying to be the healthiest person I can, so therefore, that's what I was trying to do. That's not necessarily what you're supposed to do. So I started doing intermittent fasting, and that's what I felt like worked because it gave my body enough time to rebuild. I'm not saying it worked by itself, but it kickstarted my body into saying, oh, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing, instead of constantly thinking about digesting food, especially the fact that I was doing intermittent fasting, and when I would eat, it would only be vegan or vegetarian. I would say vegetarian because sometimes I did use mayonnaise or something like that. So it would be more vegetables, whole vegetables, things like that pretty much I felt like started cleansing my body. And that's pretty much how I can explain it. For the gist of everything, like I said, I'll go into more details about intermittent fasting, getting the Depo out of your system, the things that you probably should do. Again, this is just advice. This isn't something that is definite, because I noticed that, again, the reason why I started doing these videos was because I would do research and people wouldn't continue telling you what was going on with them. And a lot of y'all are saying that y'all on the same track as me, that you had one shot, that you had years of shots, and your body isn't acting right, and you need help with it. And as long as I can kind of give you hope in it, I'm fine with that. So it's just advice. So in the future, and building up to this, I'll be doing videos because I promised our daughter that I will be doing the same videos that I did with her with the up and coming. And so I don't have definite days of when I'm going to do it, because I understand that stuff can happen, things can go bad, but at the same time, I did make this promise. I do look back on her videos, and I'm glad that I recorded them, and I'll be giving you guys more information on the topic of the Depo. Again, I do not have a specific day or time when I'm going to do it. You guys have been keeping up with the videos anyway, so I really appreciate it. And so that means that I will be putting out more. And it took me a while to do this video just because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in this video. It's pretty much like a restart of the channel if you think about it, because the previous video, if you go watch that, it was pretty much telling y'all how what happened. Telling y'all, it was just showing y'all how I found out, how he found out, stuff like that. So I'm going to be giving you guys some more information, congratulations to all the people that have become pregnant after the Depo, because of the fact that you guys have been keeping me updated, and I really appreciate that. And that's one thing that I really tell you guys, is to get in the comments and let these other women know what you've been doing, how you've gotten through it, if you've lost a child, how you've been going through it, because I'm not only about the Depo, I'm also talking about child loss and how you deal with it mentally and how you try to get through it. It's never going to end, so you got to try to get through it. But I do thank y'all for watching. Again, updates coming soon. Peace and baby dust.